For good reason, I covet your prayers. My local church, Bathurst Presbyterian, has a weekly mission prayer group who get each mission partner of theirs, like me, to SMS a simple prayer point for what's on our mind that week. One week recently I asked them to pray for an inmate who had shown interest in chapel and the Christian faith and been coming along regularly, but he was also dabbling in Buddhism, and I had eventually challenged him about that and he didn't really appreciate it. He stopped coming along. Anyway, I didn't expect to see him again. But the first Sunday after that prayer point, through the SMS, this guy turned up at church. So you can imagine my next week's prayer point was to give thanks that he'd shown up and to ask for prayer for how I could follow him up to find out where he was really at. Well, during that week, he actually sought me out before I could get to him. And he asked me to mentor him in the Christian faith so that he could be clear about what Jesus is saying. So you can imagine my next prayer point the following week was to give thanks for that, but also to ask that God might open his heart as we read the Bible together and talked about Jesus. Well, that was a few months ago, and I can tell you now that he's made a commitment to Jesus and he's growing in his faith. Prayer is powerful. Please can you keep praying for him though, that he would grow stronger and become bolder in his faith. Thank you for praying for other things raised through this platform, like the Christmas concert that I organised for the jail-wide community late last year. Again, it was a great opportunity to talk about Jesus in front of a lot of inmates I normally wouldn't get to talk to. Please also be thankful for the Prisoner's Journey program that was run a few months ago, where a dozen inmates got to, over 8 weeks, got to be clear about who Jesus is. And that was a great thing for them to be challenged about where they're at, and for some of them it was really beginning a journey with Jesus. Last thing though, I'd love you to pray for the Anzac Day concert coming up in a month, for obvious similar things to happen. Thanks for your prayers.